My name is Emil. I'm a digital strategist. I answer marketing questions. This is episode number 53, and it's all about Google Ads landing page experience. The question comes from Reddit, from No Mercy 88, and he's saying in general terms, look, I have a mobile speed score of 8 out of 10, but my landing page experience is average or below average. I get this question quite often from clients and consultations and see it all over online. I think the score that Google gives you on your landing page experience is one of the most misunderstood opportunities to really kick ass on within Google Ads. So in this video, I'm going to cover why landing page optimization matters. And I mean really matters, not in a I'm going to hack the system way. Some best practices to deploy in how you think about your landing pages. And then, of course, tips to help any sort of page, whether it's a service page or an e-com page. We're going to get you an amazing landing page experience. But first, every Sunday, I send out one email that recaps all the marketing questions I answered that week. If you want to stay up to date on best practices, strategies, and become an overall stronger marketer, I think you would really enjoy this recap. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to the newsletter and my YouTube channel. Now, back to the answer. Google is always judging you, and what it's really doing with its landing page experience score is it's breaking up its core value proposition to the end user into two sections. And its value proposition is that usefulness out of Google will always be there, meaning if I have a problem, I go to Google, I will find my solution rather quickly. The first area you're judged on is your keywords, your ad structure, your ad copy, and your keyword group and theming. And the second one is how people interact with the page that they land on. And a landing page is just the first destination page after they click an ad. It may not be specifically designed to be a quote-unquote landing page or squeeze page. It could just be your about page. And that would be a landing page if it's the first destination point you land on. Now, the benefits of having an amazing landing page experience is A, you're going to see a decreased bounce rate. We know what that does to overall performance. Improved ad position. So Google's going to push your ad higher and higher to a more prominent spot. Improved quality score. That'll, of course, lower our cost per click, our cost per thousand, our overall cost per acquisition. This is just the core reward you get for providing a useful experience for the user. Now, Google wants usefulness above all else. It prioritizes it over profits because it knows that if you trust Google, you're going to give Google more of your attention and your time. So if two businesses are vying for the same audience with the same keyword, and one business has an excellent ad structure and excellent landing page experience, and another one has a subpar one, but the subpar one's willing to pay more, Google's actually going to give the bid to the one who's willing to pay less, but has a better end user experience. Something to really think about here. Google infers usefulness across a few different categories. And so much so that even when it updated its mobile speed score, it said, look, mobile speed score is based on, of course, how fast your page loads, but also the potential conversion rate. So Google is making predictions based on previous interactions with your page on how well you're serving your end client. So here's some usefulness things that'll increase your conversion rate and get you an amazing landing page experience score. Number one, relevancy. How relevant is your page? Number two, trustworthiness. Do people trust your page? Number three, ease of use and navigability. Can you get around the website quickly? And then reliability. How reliable is the site across multiple mediums? So landing page best practices are going to break down all four of these in their own separate action plans. Number one, relevancy. I have a product I'm selling. There's an audience that's looking for it. There's a very small sliver of overlap where you become super relevant. And just because I'm selling iPhone cases for iPhone 13s doesn't mean I have the one that you're looking for. So relevancy is discovered after the ad copy. So I see an ad, iPhone 13 cases, red. Now what I'm expecting is when I click that ad, I see red iPhone 13 case. If I'm suddenly sent to a glittery iPhone 12 case, that is not relevant. The keyword is not represented in the landing page anymore. I'm not seeing the product that I was promised on. So now suddenly I'm not delivering on the promise. Number two, the value proposition isn't the same. I'm looking for an iPhone 13 case for $9.99. It said that there was an iPhone case for 13 for $9.99. I get on it, it's an iPhone case 12 for $14. suddenly that makes me really doubt that I'm going to find what I'm looking for on this website. And last, let's say you do have a page that has iPhone 10 cases, 12, 13. You should have ad groups that are themed in your campaign by the type of phone and even the type of color that you sell, or any feature or benefit of that case that makes it different. And when somebody clicks on an iPhone 13 case red for $9.99, they better see the exact same thing that was promised there. And the way to do this is through ad group theming. So if you get that right, and this is often a missed case, a lot of people use the same generic landing page from multiple services or multiple products. That's one hindrance to landing page experience. Number two is trustworthiness. How does Google infer trustworthiness? Let's look at this website. This is a VRBO, right? VRBO. Do you trust this? Would you book here? Would you give these people your credit card? I wouldn't. I wouldn't give these people more than 10 seconds of me understanding what I'm actually looking at, just at a comical view. And now look at this. Same properties, value proposition, same everything, but which one would you interact longer with? So your landing page experience is going to go through the roof with this one versus the other one. Because again, I'm going to trust it. I'm not going to bounce right out. An underscored and really important component of trustworthiness is grammar and spelling. If you get somewhere and the grammar seems off, like one of those, I'm from Nigeria and I have a $5 billion worth of gold, all I need is $600 from you, kind of grammar, that's a red flag. Or if spelling is completely off in so many ways, that's a red flag. Looking at grammar and spelling as a trustworthiness component is often underlooked, but that'll get people to bounce off or not complete the conversion action we're looking for. Don't use interstitials. I'm using the word interstitials because it's important to understand what that is. Sure, it's a pop-up. But Google uses the word interstitial. It means it comes in between you and the thing that you're looking at. Nobody cares they're going to get 10% off of your clothing brand with the pop-up. They want to understand the thing that they're looking at. A pop-up distracts you. A pop-up pulls you out of what you're browsing, and everyone hates them. If you're using pop-ups, don't. Just throw your computer out the goddamn window at this point if you think they work. They don't. Just stop using pop-ups. Google can't be more explicit with this. And think about yourself. When you're browsing the internet and a pop-up shows up on every site you go on, what do? You immediately leave. If you're using pop-ups, just don't. Make sure that your contact info is easy to find. You want to be able to email, call, or send a form very quickly to whoever owns that website. Make sure you can easily navigate to there. It's in your footer, it's in your menu bar, and there's a dedicated page for it. Easy to find terms and conditions. Now, if you are a service business or a product business, this is absolutely critical. What is your return policy? What is your no-show policy? Cancellation fees? These things need to be present, and Google will be looking for them. And this will help your end user understand what to expect from your business. And then keep the design super simple. I see so many people trying to have fancy, cool, amazing design. Nobody cares. We don't want good design. We want clean, simple design. I'm looking to solve a problem, not overcome an obstacle to solve my own problem. So if you're selling iPhone 13 cases and I get there and it's all these like movable slides and you got to slide this over here and this here and there's this great design copy and a ballerina comes through, how does that help me? It doesn't. It looks cool. You spent a lot of money on it. I'm sure it slowed down your website, but nobody wins off that. Craigslist still works. Think about that. Craigslist still works. Now, navigation is incredibly important these days. And when I say these days, I mean the last 24 months. 24 months ago, you could use squeeze pages. Now we have to really focus on navigation, how a user interacts with the entirety of your website. Number one is less squeeze pages. A squeeze page is just the traditional thing that most people think about when they see landing page. That means that you land on there, there's no menu, header, nothing. It just forces you to take an action. People don't like this anymore. If you're seeing YouTube videos of people like showing you how to create squeeze pages and do this, they just don't work. Take it from anybody who's running successful long-term campaigns, the more you give the user options to interact with you through pages and experiences on your website, the more likely they are to convert and be a long-term customer. The less options they have, the more likely they are to bounce out. Content for users to explore is much more important now than having that quote-unquote squeeze page. One of the most helpful tips I've heard, and forgive me because I cannot remember who said this, but they were talking about designing websites. So that designing website in 2013 and 14 was all about squeeze pages. Designing websites in 2020 and beyond is all about content for users. And this means that if you are a iPhone 13 case, you want to have pages to dedicate to the cases that you sell, what kind of material you're using, shipping. You could even have an entire page just in the manufacturing process. You drop shippers don't have this option, but people who are actually building their own products do. And if you're a service business, this could be your staff page and a real fleshed out staff page with some videos. It could be before and after projects. It could be in-depth breakdowns and case studies of work that you're done, but give somebody context. We now know that we want a much bigger picture of the people we're going to do business with. Give me content. Let me explore your website and understand more about you to give you my money. And if you have trustworthiness down, right? If you have navigability down, is your website reliable? And reliability is often a massively overlooked word in a website. Most people think that just because it loads, it's reliable. That is not the case. I'm going to give you the 3 commandments to reliability. Number 1, is it lightning fast? And I mean lightning fast. Google reported this in 2017. It said for every second that your website needs to load, it reduces conversion rates by 20%. So 3 seconds is a 60% reduction in possible conversion rates. This is absolutely critical. And when you get an 8 out of 10 on mobile speed score, if you can hit a 10 out of 10 in Google's eyes, and it's really not that hard, just make the page super simple, give the relevant content, and follow best practices, compressed images, you're going to do well. If a designer or developer tells you that this page just won't load any faster, they're lying to you. Pages will always load faster. You just got to put in the work. Make sure it's responsive and not in that cool, like, how does it look when I slide it on my Chrome window? Nobody's fucking looking at your website that way. How in the Chrome? Load it up on your iPad, load it up on your phone, load it up on a laptop, load it up on a giant desktop, and see how fast they load on each one of those after you clear your cache, and of course see how it looks in all of those. But don't use modular references for it. Use the actual device you want to see it. One of the ways you can really understand how good a developer is, just say, hey, how many devices do you have in your house? If they don't have at least a handful of iPhones and Android devices and some iPads and a few different desktops and laptops, just to test how their site loads and looks, it's questionable. And last, simple and predictable. If your website is simple and predictable, I swear to God, you will see such major changes. When you land on a website, you shouldn't have to try to figure out what the menu is. When you land on a website, you should, if there's a call to action, when you click it, it should do exactly what you say. If you click the menu, it should expand and show you all the options. If you click a footer link, it should be there. And if you have sections through that have an image with a circle with a triangle in it, that is a play video, not take me to another page. Make sure that your page is super simple. Give it to a 10 or 12 or 13-year-old and tell them, hey, can you find the iPhone 13 case on here? If they can't find that in 2 or 3 seconds, your website's not working well. If it's a service business, tell them, hey, I want you to find out where this business is located and what are the top 2 or 3 services that they offer. And if they can't do that, your website is not simple and it's not predictable. Making it simple and predictable will increase your revenue like you would not believe, or at least your conversion rates. So that is all of the components that are factored inside of your landing page experience. Make sure people trust you. Think about the user experience and make sure your web page is utilitarian. It's not a business card. It is there to serve a purpose, to help somebody solve a problem, not be part of the problem. I hope this helped. If it added any value to you, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe below, thumb up the video, add a comment, and as always, good luck and happy marketing.